Hey guys, I got another one for you. This is another tough one for me to watch and go through, and it's going to be tough for you to watch. But it's something that I think you really need to understand what's taking place, because I have seen this advice being given a lot, and it's so wrong for the dog. What we're going to be getting into is a German Shepherd who is showing guarding behavior and reactivity when it's with its owners. Shocking, I know. German Shepherd is a herding breed, but also guardian. And so this dog is naturally a protector. The way that it is being dealt with is going to be very, very dangerous for humans in the future, and this dog is going to end up biting someone without any warning if they continue to follow the advice of this horrible, abusive trainer. So let's get into it.
I want you to shake my hand while you stay there, please. How are you? It's good to see you again. How are you? It's so good to see you again.
Thank you.
Okay, we've done the deal. It's not to say he's going to be perfect, but anything after this of being mean to me is totally and completely and absolutely unacceptable and is going to be dealt with as such.
There's going to be so much to unpack in these clips. So the first thing is he believes that just because he has shaken the hands of one of the owners that the dog should be comfortable with him, which is really unrealistic. There's no relationship here. There's nothing that's been built. He has met this, or seen him from a distance for a total of maybe 10 seconds. So to say that he should not be growled at or lunged at is going to be dealt with appropriately is asinine, because he believes just because he's coming in here real nice that the dog should be okay. And this immediately tells me, and it's not that I don't know this, he just keeps confirming this, that he's clueless on dog behavior, genetics, and how dogs actually process information. And he should not, by any stretch of the imagination, be working with any dog exhibiting aggressive behavior, because he's going to get someone injured very badly. And the dog is not going to improve and is only going to be more likely to actually cause harm and damage to a human in the future.
Bring him back over there by that trash can. Tell him sit his butt down.
Sit. Stay.
Come back. Tell him sit.
Sit. Stay.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are
It's
you?
so good to see
Thank you.
Pop, walk him over there. This is my most in-depth and thorough video about dogs that bark and lunge at people due to protection and resource guarding. Protection is noble. Resource guarding is obnoxious, is what I always say. That's why when they came in, I shook both their hands. We cannot correct a dog who thinks it's protecting the family. These two individuals shook my hand and they accepted me into their life. They need to let him know that I am an okay person. That was done at the beginning. And then after that, they need to treat the behavior. You need to treat the behavior like it is unacceptable, because it is unacceptable. We're not even at this dog's house. This is a very informative video. I hope you get something from it.
So, number one, resource guarding is protection. It's the same thing. It's just there's a time that's appropriate for protection, and there's a time where it's not appropriate for protection. But also, we ideally like to let a dog know if they are in a protective mode. We'd like to let them know what the appropriate behavior is in that moment. Do we need it? Do we need to call them off? We need to be able to have verbal control over that. He's trying to say that, these dogs, or this dog, should be okay because they brought him into their life. Number one, they're not at home. So you didn't go into their home. It's not like they let you into their home. Right now, you are a complete stranger. And the dog has no idea what your behavior is going to be in the future, and he's quickly going to learn that you are not a nice person and you should not be within the family. So for him to believe that this dog shouldn't be exhibiting this because of who he is and what he did with the family, again, goes to tell me he has no clue and should not be working with dogs that are exhibiting aggressive behavior. And I wanted to do this video because people like you and your friends need to watch this, that if your dogs are having these issues, not every person who works with dogs have the capability, knowledge, or education or experience to work with those dogs. And he certainly has no clue what he's doing, and this is so dangerous. So for him to say it's such an informative video, all that it informed me was that he continues to be abusive. He meets aggression with aggression, and he has no clue what he is doing and should not be doing it. So if any trainer wants to take your money and just shows you how to abuse the dog, or just starts to flood the dog, you need to run, and run as far away as you can, and then tell everybody you know, do not go to that person.
I want you on the next one to go over there. I want you to do a little extra pop, and I want you to stand there and look at him. We're not freaking doing this right now. And that's, it's more of a dominant thing. So I want you to walk away, I want you to go pop, and I want your whole energy to be like, do you think I'm messing? Do you really think I'm messing around right now? Like I am so not messing around. Like the most you've ever been. The distance away from the family is the true correction. Then we're gonna add no nonsense daddy to it as a little extra. Knock this nonsense off. But the distance is 80% of this, just so you know.
So he mentions about dominance. That is not real. That is a myth. That is a fact that has been proven over and over again. So anytime someone comes to you and says you got to be more dominant, and it's dominance, they really don't know what they're doing. That means they absolutely have no clue about the dog and where they come from and how it actually works. What he's trying to do is bully into suppressing this dog's behavior. We've talked about suppression. You've seen me do videos on suppression. This is absolutely one of the worst suppression videos that I have seen. And so you're not fixing it. What he is going to be doing is teaching this dog that when someone comes up and the dog does what's natural and normal, or it could be coming from fear, that he's going to get removed from his people. What do you think that's going to do in the dog's mind as someone starts to approach? They're going to start protecting themselves and their people a lot sooner because they don't want to be taken away from their secure attachment. So when he's trying to be like, you got to be just this dominant, knock it off, then again, he's just trying to bully. He doesn't understand what's truly happening in the dog's brain. The behavior that's occurring is happening up in the brain first, and then you're seeing it come out. So he's not changing anything in the brain. He's only trying to suppress the external behavior. This is not how you deal with dogs who are exhibiting this type of behavior. So we will get into a little bit more of how we want to start working with that, but it's mostly going to be what not to do in this video.
You know that? That's the thing. That correction doesn't matter. You're farther away from these two is really the punishment. The leash correction will rarely suffice as enough punishment to get rid of the behavior, because the behavior of barking at a person and that person leaving, because 99.9% of the time the person leaves upon the bark, or the owners pet the dog, or the dog barks then gets closer to the owners, is the reinforcement. Here's going to be a bark right there. The owner's on it. He's going to do a sit. He's no nonsense. Now he's got a tight leash right there.
So what he's saying basically is that when the dog exhibits a natural normal behavior based off whatever the motivating factor is in the brain, that the punishment is not really the leash correction, the leash pop, even though it gets harder and harder as we go through the video. Just trigger warning there. This is very difficult to watch. And I'm not sure if the dog's on a head halter or a choke chain, but the yanks are really, really bad. I'm actually going to slow down a couple of videos so you can see it, because I want you to be motivated to call these people out and motivated to say, we are no longer going to stand for this abuse. So he's basically saying that, hey, when your kid is when you're holding your baby and a stranger walks up and that baby is afraid and starts crying because that person maybe is too much, then what needs to happen is that baby needs to be removed from its people. And that will teach it not to be scared and not to exhibit that behavior that's inappropriate. And that's just bullshit, right? So we would think that's crazy, Nikki. Why would we do that? That's exactly what I'm saying here. Why are we doing these things? And so what he's doing is he's taking them away. It's going to create more anxiety. This dog is trying to get to its secure attachment to say, please help me, because I don't know what else to do and no one's giving me any direction. Very rarely do you even hear a good boy in this video. Not one time does he instruct them to tell him what a good boy he is being. He does nothing but flood this dog and force this dog into situations and doing things until the behavior looks better, but it's really suppression. And you'll watch as the dog gets more and more anxious, rapid breathing, rapid heart rate. The panting is much, much higher. Yes, I'm sure it's warm there, but if the dog lives there, it's not that bad. And so you can see that there are a lot of body language behavior that's exhibiting a lot of stress from this dog. And that's why body language is so important, and understanding how dogs communicate, because many times as we continue through this, you're going to see the confrontational behavior that is occurring by this horrible trainer.
I'm going to take the leash, not because I think me taking the leash is going to fix the dog. I do not. But these people have to watch me and the no-nonsense attitude I have with dogs so that he can copy me.
So he believes that if you just have the right energy and you just have this no-nonsense attitude to say, no, that is not appropriate because I'm the dominant one, you're an asshole. You're a bully and you're an asshole. And I'm just going to call it like it is. And this poor dog is looking at its owners like, can you please save me? You are my trusted, secure attachment. Don't ever let someone take your dog from you and start yanking them around on a leash or trying to bully them into behaving. We don't bully dogs into behaving. That's not how it works. We need to learn how to build a relationship before attempting to change things that are happening, and especially changing in the brain. And this dog is obviously exhibiting some fear and was probably showing some natural guarding tendencies, and then was being corrected by the owners, and that's how they got to where they are. And now all they're doing is escalating their corrections to try to suppress this behavior. And the type of yanking that's happening, it can be so harmful to a dog. If it's on a gentle leader around the mouth underneath that basket muzzle, and the basket muzzle looks like it's not even fitted properly, then that's going to be dangerous. And also if he's yanking anything around the neck, with all the nerves that's in this dog's neck, he can be creating some serious problems. You can damage the thyroid that way. You can damage the vagus nerve. There are a lot of things that can happen. And overall, it's just dangerous to even take away a dog's warning system. If we don't have a warning system, then we're going to get things that seem out of the blue. And that's even more dangerous than having a dog who just protects or guards in a situation that we can manage and that we can predict. I'm not saying that what this dog is doing as far as with its owners is appropriate. I don't know the whole story, but I can tell you, regardless of the story, this is not how you go about teaching the dog the appropriate behavior and helping to settle the emotions that are taking place.
And then he's going to try to bite me in a minute. Like I'm just walking into him. I just want them to kind of see my energy. I've talked about energy a couple times in this video. Energy is a hard thing to describe, and it's to some degree a hard thing for the viewer to see on a video. There's a lot of very subtle things to energy, and I'm going to explain it more later in this video. But it's the way you carry yourself. It's the confidence you carry yourself. It's the timing of what you do. That's energy. Now he's going to try to bite me right here, and I'm not having it. You can't try to bite people because you feel like it, because you're a little stressed. They brought him to me for biting people or for attempting to bite people. I am no nonsense with this guy. He needs to learn that there are consequences when you try to bite somebody.
So when we think about energy, confidence, not having to go overboard, real leadership can be counted on. He's exhibiting none of this. His energy is, I'm an asshole and I'm going to bully you into submission. And I would love to see him work with this dog without a muzzle. Because I think his attitude would be a little different. I like when he says that, he tries to bite me and it's not right to do. That's like saying, I am pushing you up against the wall and yelling in your face, but you have no right to defend yourself. I don't know why we think that we have the right to do things and dogs don't. This is so asinine. This dog is trying to bite because this dog is overly stressed, has been giving level 1 signals, level 2 signals, and now is having to go to level 3 signals. Those signals are telling the person the possible conflict, the confrontation, that they're not comfortable. And he is being so disrespectful. And if you've taken my communication seminar, you've seen the video where Cesar Milan is being confrontational and finally gets bit, and gets bit well. And he deserved every bit of it. And then he looks at the camera and says, didn't see that coming. Yeah, because y'all are fucking clueless on the behavior that you're seeing. You're just trying to bully and do the same thing that this dog is showing. This dog's showing aggressive behavior. I'm not saying the dog's aggressive. He's showing aggressive behavior. So is the human. So the dog is either going to have to escalate and the human will eventually lose, but he won't lose with the muzzle on. So, if you're not going to do something with a dog without the muzzle, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. Because more than likely you're doing something that's going to create tension, that's going to cause the dog to bite. And he's just yanking him all around constantly for doing something that's very natural, protecting himself. This dog is protecting himself. Y'all, this one's tough for me. And I'm if you've made it this far, congratulations.
How are you?
Good, how are
Come on up. Sit. Stay. It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. You want to meet my dog?
I'd love to.
Okay. Sit. Down. Okay.
Hi.
This is my friend Laura. Will you pet my dog, please, calmly? Good. Perfect. Perfect. Good. I realize it's different. I know it's different. It's a whole different thing.
So once again, he is yanking the dog around. So he's basically teaching the dog that anybody approaching, you're going to get yanked and painful. Things are going to happen. So people aren't very good. And then he's giving the dog permission to go greet, but as soon as the dog goes to greet, he yanks him again. There are so many mixed signals being given by this person who should not be taking people's money in the name of dog training. And then what he's doing is he's having another person walk up this dog doesn't know and gets into this dog's space, which is very disrespectful, and then leaning over with the hand out. And he's saying, perfect, perfect, when in actuality, that is the inappropriate way to approach dogs. It's also inappropriate to lean towards them and lean your hand out. What you want to do is we like to curve, turn to the side, allow the dog to approach, and let the dog decide if they want to be petted or not. Forcing a dog to be petted is disrespectful and can be very harmful for the dog's overall well-being, as well as the person doing the petting. And you can see that she's obviously trying to learn from him, and I hope that she has run as far as she possibly can if she wants to be in dog training, but run from this guy. But you can see how she even recognizes this dog is not comfortable and that she's not comfortable doing what he is asking her to do. The dog is just like looking at her like, save me. And this is something, again, that, yeah, he's not going to be protecting him because there's no relationship. There's zero relationship built. He's just a stranger dragging him around and yanking on this leash for nothing. For nothing. He as he asked him to sit, he's yanking the leash, which means number one, you're never going to have off-leash control with that sit because the yank is part of the cue. And two, again, he's just going to learn that when people are communicating to him, it's painful.
Okay, thank you. This is a dog that at this point is like, I'm not messing with this guy. And remember at the beginning, I said, the biggest change is I'm not messing with this guy. Like you gotta be me. It's gonna be harder. It's a big giant ship. It takes a long, relationships, this big thing that takes a long time to turn around. That one, me getting mad at him, turned it around instantly.
So he caught himself and said, you know, this dog's learning not to mess with this mean guy. Yeah, he is being an asshole. And he is learning to try to avoid any type of physical punishment. This dog is learning to be helpless. So this is what we call learned helplessness. It's where a dog has tried different things, and when those things don't work, they finally just stop trying. And that's where a lot of people believe that their dog is trained, obedient, fixed because they don't see the behavior. And in reality, when you can look at body language and you understand how dogs' brains work, you will know that the dog is really just given up. And that is a very sad place to be.
You're super mean and he's not messing around. I know that's very blunt. And you don't want to be mean guy all the time. You can be a nice guy 98% of the time. You're only on a walk 2% of the day, and people only come over 2% of the day. Sit. And that just, you gotta up your mean daddy game.
So this very informative video, he is teaching that in order to help a dog through the aggressive behavior that they're exhibiting, you just have to be mean. You just got to be mean. And if you're mean, the dog won't do anything that causes you to be mean to them. Does that sound like balance training to you? Does that sound like aversive training to you, or does that just sound like straight up abuse?
Hey, how are you? Oh my gosh,
Joel.
it's so good to see you.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed you so much. Anything towards me is grounds for like serious stuff. Laura, will you please come over? Good, talk to your friend.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
Laura. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again.
Talk to his dog.
Hi, how
This
are
is
you?
Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
Pop.
Eh,
Harder.
Sit and down.
So in this case, he has been mean to the dog and is now walking up and telling the owner that if he gives any attitude, you're going to pop him. And then he brings in the girl again and then makes her get into this dog's space. I don't know about you, but I like to make sure that people are not like up in my grill when I'm in public. And I'm sure you probably feel the same way. Why we think it's okay to get up in dogs' grills and their space and not to get a reaction for them is absolutely it's just unheard of. It's inappropriate to even think that way. Not to mention that, again, there is not any type of good boy happening. He was being fine when she walked up at first. He was fine even when Joel was like shaking hands, but not one time of a good boy. This dog is not learning that people coming up means that he just needs to sit there and be good. He's just learning that when people come up, that can mean dangerous things for him. And what you got on that growl was a level 2 calming signal. It was saying, I'm not comfortable. I'm asking you to please back away. This is a natural way that dogs communicate. And when we take that away, we are going to end up leaving them no choice but to get into that level 3, which is a snap or a bite without any prior warning. And if this dog is not wearing a muzzle or not on a leash, guess what? This dog is going to bite someone, and it's not going to be the dog's fault.
So let's replay that. Okay.
Hi,
Hi.
nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Nice to see
Good
you.
weather we're
Sit,
having.
Charlie.
Who's this?
This is Charlie. Charlie's our
Charlie.
German Shepherd.
Very handsome.
Yeah, he's a feisty dog.
Pop. Walk.
I don't have to explain to you what the problem is with that. I am going to tell you, though, that if we watch, number one, first thing is first, you need to be protective of your dog's space. You need to control the space around your dog. If you're your dog's secure attachment and you are their safety net, you need to ensure that no one comes into their space. As someone is approaching into your space, if your dog is unsure, you need to reassure. Tell them you appreciate their behavior, thank you for being what they're being, and if they're getting a little nervous and somebody keeps walking, then you can either take a step back and take your dog with you or put yourself in between the person and your dog to make sure that you're stepping up for your dog. The thing is that this guy is not stepping up for his dog. He is just being taught to bully his dog into not behaving, into not growling. And not doing what's natural. So there are opportunities here. As they were standing back, the dog was fine. But you can see that Joel takes his little trainer and moves her into the dog's space on purpose just to elicit the behavior that he doesn't want so that the correction can happen. And the correction happened way late. So again, not only are we going to be causing physical injury around this dog's neck, possible thyroid issues, this dog is learning that people approaching, strangers approaching, are dangerous for his overall well-being and safety, which means that he's going to start growling as the person is farther away. And you may have seen that. If you have a reactive dog, you've probably seen that, where your dog started out to where he didn't lunge or bark or growl until people were 5 yards away. And then over time, because you started correcting, it then got 10 yards away he would start. And you corrected that. And then it was 15 yards, the dog would start reacting. So you corrected that. And then it was 20 yards, and you finally reached out to a trainer. And hopefully it wasn't somebody like this, because he doesn't know what he's doing. And so what we've done is we've just taught the dog that it's a very dangerous thing for whatever that trigger is to approach. Therefore, I have to make sure it stays away, because being safe and hazard avoidance is absolutely crucial to having a successful life.
Come sit here.
Sit. Hi guys, this is
Hi,
Charlie.
I know. He's a nice boy. Oh, he's a nice German
He
Shepherd,
tries
isn't
to
he?
be. Ah.
Good job.
I've watched that clip only twice, and my mouth still just opened up. Number one, the trainer. I don't even want to call him a trainer. He doesn't even deserve that title. His name's Joel, and he's horrible. But he leans down into the dog's space and is talking to him. This is so confrontational. So a dog, if we're looking at the dog's genetics, the way their brain is wired and the way it works is when something is too close and there's a potential conflict, they will exhibit calming signals to try to calm things down. Now, level one are things like ignoring head turns, which you're seeing this dog do. But when that's not respected, because he is staying in the dog's space, the dog has no choice but to go to level two, which is the growl or snarl. And because he said, I'm not comfortable, he gets yanked. And Joel is so proud that he got yanked and he got abused. That's the way you fix that shit. And it's not.
Oh, that was.
Oh, he is a nice doggy. He is a nice doggy.
Yeah.
I want you to reinforce him by letting him go say hi to his mom. Okay, and let him go say hi. And be in the group. So this is the single worst place for him to be. He still can't growl at me. So now you got to be careful where that leash is, but you are going to give him a little bit of correction, and you're going to get him out of there if he does anything. You're the protector of these guys, not him. Okay? Oh, it's so good to see you again. Hi. Hi. Good job being ready. Good. Walk him away. I agree with you.
So at this point in the video, I can really tell that this dog is not being protective. This dog is fearful. And the reason I know that is because if the dog was being protective, when it went to mom, it would not have turned its back on Joel. But he did. He turned his back on Joel and he went to mom, and he went there to hopefully decrease the rapid firing of his central nervous system, because that was her, maybe she's his safe space. And of course, then Joel is, again, getting in the face, being confrontational, leaning over the dog, doing all these things that Joel feels like he has the right to do, but only bullies believe that. This is really, truly abuse on the dog's psyche. I wish I could help you guys understand how detrimental this is to the dog's well-being.
You know, I say you're the protector of this. Like if that leash is in a horrible spot, flinging in front. Good.
Did I miss a pop?
I mean, maybe not. You got things under control.
So you can see that Joel is not confident. He has no idea what he's doing. And at this point, he's like, I don't know what else to do. It's not getting better, and I don't know what to do. So what does a bully do when it's not working? They level up.
You do. I don't want to get super anthropomorphic, but he thinks he needs to do it, not because you haven't done it, but because who the hell knows why he thinks it, but he thinks it.
So that's as priceless as Cesar Millan saying, I didn't see that coming when he got bit. This again, he has no clue and understands about genetics and why this dog is exhibiting the behavior that is exhibiting. So let's put the dog into the herding instinct, because that is where Kim Brophy puts the dog based on ethology. And I want to just read from the book of Meet Your Dog. Now look, if you don't have this book, please get it. It is so, so good. And it's going to help you to understand kind of the behavior that you're getting from your dog and why you're getting it. So let's just go to, you might find a herding dog hard to live with because she's bossy. She is a regulator. Let's see, here to establish law and order by managing the living room, neighborhood park, and natural universe. A workaholic, and clingy. So there's some really good reasons why you're getting the behavior from the German Shepherd. Again, I think it probably started as some natural guarding behavior and natural kind of chaos coordinator behavior. And I think it has turned into fear, complete fear. So what he's saying is that this dog just shouldn't be doing any of this, even though it's this dog's natural instincts. When someone who works with dogs don't understand the ins and outs of the genetics and the developmental processes, then we are going to end up with dogs that are suffering, sometimes silently, sometimes very clear where they're suffering. And this dog is going to be suffering more than it's suffering right now, because now it's not even trusting the secure attachments that he has. Mom's letting it happen, dad's being mean, and escalating at that. So this dog is now saying, wow, now I can't even depend on my secure attachments to protect me. And I would not be surprised if this German Shepherd starts growling at dad at some point.
And he's just like...
Sit. Sit.
And he's just like, get away from my family. Like, they're my family.
Okay. Okay. No.
Harder.
Come on.
Keep walking him. Walk him like I did. Relax that leash.
Sit. Down.
once again, he's not protecting his family. He's actually protecting himself. And Joel deserves to be snapped at and bitten. I mean, he needs to be, because he is being a bully and confrontational. In this instance, we shouldn't even be putting the dog in this situation. If a dog is uncomfortable with something, putting them in the environment they're uncomfortable in is called flooding. If we keep them in it, and what he's doing is basically Joel is hovering around and he's flooding this dog's system. At this point, the amount of cortisol and adrenaline that is running through this dog's central nervous system is going to keep him at a 10, which means that there's no learning that's taking place, at least no learning that's going to be positive. Once the dog has this amount of chemical released in the brain, that it's just shut down. And so all you're seeing here is the dog being put in a situation that he has been taught zero skills in handling. So when we are starting with dogs like this, the first thing we're going to do is make sure that we have created a safe relationship, to make sure the dog knows that they can trust me, right? If they can't trust me, then how am I going to teach them? If I keep putting them around scary things, how are they going to trust me, right? How can I help them feel safe and learn appropriate behavior if I keep putting them in situations that they're not learning anything other than how to avoid the abuse that they are getting with the leash and the collar pops. And so again, we're not teaching this dog what to do and how to fix the feelings that they're having and how to kind of respond appropriately based off the information they're getting from the external environment. We're only teaching this dog to be reactive to things in the external environment, because things in the external environment are causing dad to be very, very, very mean and unpredictable.
Too slow. Go bring him to water, please. So I believe oh my God. I believe your energy on that last one was better by like 30 to 40%, and that's what's allowing this to happen. This is the exact same thing that happened last time, except he lunged at me. Then you did a different thing on that energy when you pulled him away. I believe.
Surprising, he has no clue of why he's getting the behavior from this German Shepherd as he's getting. Why is the German Shepherd now sitting there and not bothering him? Again, it's called learned helplessness. The dog is learning that if I don't lunge at this guy, dad won't yank at me and I won't get removed from my mom, who's truly my secure attachment. It has not changed the dog's emotions about Joel. It's not changed the dog's fear. It's just put the dog in a more freeze and learned helplessness state. If this dog was not attached to that leash, he would be going after Joel. But he's trying to protect himself by avoiding that. And you may ask, well, Nikki, then isn't that fixed? No, because the dog is then going to become unpredictable in when it is going to lunge and bite. If we don't change the emotions, if we don't change the motivator, the driver of the external behavior, it's still going to show itself whether we suppress one behavior or we try to suppress all of them. At that point, a dog's probably going to shut down their entire system. But shutting down the behavior of lunging and barking and seeing that here is not saying that the emotions changed. Emotions don't change immediately. It takes time to change emotions. It takes time to change your natural or normal way that you've been showing your emotions, right? If you get angry and you scream when you get angry, somebody can suppress your scream, right? I can threaten you with bodily harm like they're doing to this German Shepherd, and I will suppress your scream, but it doesn't change your anger. You'll have to find another way to express that anger, and it might be silent but punching a wall, or silent and throwing something across the room. So you see, suppressing a behavior is not fixing that underlying motivator, which is completely missing here. When we're dealing with dogs like this, we work with them for months and months because biology change takes time. We don't just suppress behavior, and we start from the inside out. We start with gut health. We start with ensuring that the dog's central nervous system is at baseline, because if it's not at baseline, we're going to have a hard time learning, right? It's just like you can't learn how to deal with a panic attack when you're in the middle of a panic attack. You have to learn skills prior when you're in a calm state in order to be able to retrieve that information when you do find yourself in more of a panic state.
We have lost to a degree once the behavior has happened and we're pulling him off to the side at Home Depot and people are looking at us because we're being so mean to our dog, which is fine and you should do that, but it's only so helpful. So Laura, you're going to walk up, you're going to stare at the dog, but I'm going to try to preemptively go, don't even think about it before the freak out. And I'm going to do that in a couple ways. Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Sit. It's so hardcore. Stay. Hi, yeah, this is my dog. You're a good boy. Oh, it's so good to see you again. It's so good to see you again. Will you walk right behind him? Bye-bye.
Bye, it was nice
Hey.
meeting you.
You're a good boy.
If you have a dog who's exhibiting lunging, barking, fearful behavior, please don't take them to any place in public. The dog is not ready for it. The dog does not want it. We need to work on things at home first. And then again, what he's doing is he is assuming the dog's going to be bad. So he's all focused on punishment. He's only focused on suppressing this behavior. He is again teaching the dog that when somebody approaches, human that has the leash cannot be trusted. And he's yanking too quickly. He's yanking when the dog is not doing anything wrong. He is doing his snapping, which again doesn't say anything, no communication. We did a podcast episode on that. And so again, he is really just pulling shit out of his ass, and he has no clue what he's doing. And again, this is so dangerous. And he's telling his assistant to come up and stare at the dog in the eyes. Bully behavior, confrontational, and that's inappropriate. Dogs find that very threatening, especially when there's no relationship. So just setting this dog up to fail so that he can keep punishing the behavior he knows it's going to happen is abuse. And then he's telling the dog, good boy. And truly, it's like if you've ever had anybody, trigger warning, if you've ever had anybody be abusive to you and then turn around and bring you flowers after that, this is what you're getting.
Come on, you're a good boy. You're a nice boy. You're a nice boy. That's what you are. You're a nice boy. You're a nice boy. You're a nice boy. You're a nice boy. Come on. I don't know another fix that is not a bit hardcore.
So you're seeing more of the abusive behavior. He's very mean. He's very abusive. He's yanking, choking him, talking hard to him, being confrontational, and then he's telling him what a good boy he is. And then here at the very end, he says, I don't know another fix. Yeah, no shit. That's a very obvious.
I don't want to like trigger him, but I want to be normal too and like do things normal people do, you know? I mean, oh, that's a nice German Shepherd. Walk away, and don't do your down. And tell him sit. Oh, I love it. I love that pre-sit correction.
This one took me a second to actually start recording this part. He says he doesn't want to trigger the dog, yet he does on purpose. Wants to act like a normal human, which he's not, because he's being very confrontational in every aspect. Well, that could be a little normal human. When we see dogs, we like dogs. But then you see at the very end, he's like, I love the preemptive correction of the sit. So what I'm hearing is that while you're telling the dog to sit, you're yanking on a choke chain. You're yanking the dog up by the neck and telling him to sit, and he loves that. Again, goes to show you, it's all about abuse and suppressing behavior. There is nothing that is getting fixed here based off what he is doing, and not respecting what the dog is genetically.
Come on back. Call me crazy, but you know, him, just because he's in the middle of the family does not give him the right to growl at anybody. Laura, will you come in here? Just be me. Now, can you growl at this girl? Look how nice this young lady is. Like, me and Joel is one thing. You can't growl at her.
Hi, how are you guys? Good, how are you? Good. Enjoying the weather? Yes.
One step closer, please.
Thank you for coming over. Do you want me to look at him?
Sure.
Hi, Charlie. He's staring right now. Hi.
Walk away. Walk away.
There's nothing better than a human saying that a dog should not feel a certain way towards certain people. It's not about him. It's not about how sweet this girl is or how mean he is. It's about the dog and about what the dog is feeling and what the dog is dealing with emotionally and what's going through this dog's mind. And this dog, again, is doing fine. I mean, it's sitting there praying that it doesn't get yanked as bad as it's getting yanked. And yet I don't hear any positive reinforcement. I don't hear any type of, support for this dog. We cannot be putting these dogs in these situations without giving them the tools to deal with it. Making sure we have a good verbal marker, praising the dog, letting the dog know you got their back, letting the dog know you'll protect them, that you'll keep people from them if they are afraid. You will keep people out of the space. You will make sure they don't come into the dog's zone where they feel uncomfortable. It is our job as the human, as the guardian, to protect our dogs and to make sure that we set them up for success for this world that is nowhere even close to being set up for them. And I get frustrated. I know you can hear me right now. I get frustrated when I watch this and knowing that there are so many people who have allowed people like this to show them how they think that they need to be working with their dogs. And I guarantee you that the majority of the people are getting worse behavior from their dog if they follow what he recommends, because it is abuse, and at a certain time, an abused dog will fight back. If they don't fight back, then they shut down so much that their nervous system is shot, and the chronic stress that is happening is going to start to mess with their organs, mess with their immune system, and they're going to live a much shorter life. And that's what stress does. And this dog is so stressed out, it is painful for me to watch.
You got it. You got it. You got Calvin's safety under your control. It doesn't matter what he thinks, what he wants. Hi. Hi, it's so good to see you again.
Thank you for
it's so
coming
good
over.
to see you. Like, you are running the show. You don't care. You do not care. You are mean boss, mean daddy, and things are dealt with in a no-nonsense way from this point forward, and that's how this gets solved.
So right there in that clip, told you everything that you need to know about his training philosophy. If you're mean enough, if you're a big enough bully, you can solve any problem. I encourage you, or anybody you know that has a dog like this, please don't let them go to anyone who uses tools, who recommends any type of correction or punishment. If you don't understand where behavior comes from, you should not be in this business. If you don't understand where behavior comes from and how it's linked to genetics and how the central nervous system and the flooding of stress chemicals and how the brain shuts down for safety so that the dog doesn't die. Literally, hazard avoidance is crucial, and that's why you'll see these dogs look like they've gotten better. And that is why so many people watch these videos and follow people like this, because they think there's a miracle. And in reality, this dog is suffering more than it did when it arrived. And this dog's behavior and this dog's likelihood of biting somebody has increased because he's there. And even if it was protection, it's still increased. But I can tell you that this dog may have started as some protection work before they came to see Joel, and then their behavior towards it has made it worse, and now Joel is just making it more unpredictable and more dangerous. So if you do find yourself, I can't even put in, I had some more clips to show. I can't even show anymore. I can't do this anymore. With this is just, this one's been a tough one as well. So I just want to go and end with this, that we need to always understand that external behavior is giving us information on what is going on inside the dog's system. Just like if you see your dog having diarrhea, that diarrhea is giving you information about your dog's gut health, and giving your dog's, giving information on your dog's overall well-being physically. If your dog is showing behavior like this, they're giving you information on what's going on emotionally, what's going on up here. And just like we would look at handling the gut, we wouldn't just plug up a dog's butt to stop diarrhea. We're going to deal with what's going on with the gut in order to fix the diarrhea. Same thing. We have to deal with what's going on inside the dog's system before dealing with the external behavior. And oftentimes, when you deal with the motivating factor and you look at all those things that need to be considered, a lot of times the external behavior changes. Now, if the external behavior has been used so much, then that pathway has been created, and it will take some time to change that pathway, to kind of shut that pathway down and create a new one. It's called neuroplasticity. And it's luckily we have that to where we can do some rewiring and we can help change those pathways. So instead of the dog learning, hey, immediately I'm going into protective mode when someone walks up, they can learn a new pathway, which means if I'm uncomfortable, I go to mom and let her handle it for me. Or I'll look to mom for direction. Instead of just being reactive, I can be responsive based off the skills and the tools that my mom has given me, instead of just being reactive, and then being reactive more often without predictability because you've been punished for giving the warning signs. I highly encourage you guys, follow us on our YouTube. Make sure you're following us on all our social media channels. Sign up for the newsletter so you don't miss these things, and subscribe here on YouTube so you don't miss videos like this. And if you've worked with this guy and you're still having problems, I will offer you a discount to come see me. I do virtuals, and I promise you I will never ask you to do something that's going to be physically harming to your dog. I will never ask you to abuse your dog. I will ask you to be a support system for your dog. I will ask you to be a real partner with your dog and creating a good relationship that is built on trust, respect, and free from pain and intimidation. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm sorry if you're feeling disgusted like I am. I am going to now go make myself some fried green tomatoes and drink some sweet tea.